Hello, everybody, and welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm your host, Jackkadis. This is episode 246 of Keeping It Real. I said welcome to Keeping It Real, and then, oh my goodness, what did I say? I said welcome to Keeping It Real, and then I said this is your, I don't know what I'm saying. Let's see. Last episode was a big episode. We did a new format, lots of energy. I will apologize so there's some things I need to get ironed out in this setup. I need to have the audio switch near to me. Okay, let's just talk, man. It's Keeping It Real, all right? If you're new to the show, what we kind of try to do here is, you might have started to get sort of the gist. 3 words. Keeping, that means staying. That's very much an ode to the consistency. Let me skip ahead to the real part. I don't want to be here right now. I want to be in bed. It's like tomorrow's Labor Day. No work, no school. Like I have to go do homework. And I have my own work, this video stuff to do, but it's like it should be a more relaxed day, and it's like I would want to have a good start to that day, wake up early and all that. But it's basically already morning of that day because, what was that? Oh yeah, Keeping It Real. Keeping an ode to consistency because I push, man. I'm here, all right? And I like it because it is very ambiguous. What are we, it is the thing that's being kept real. What is it? That, my friends, that might be for another episode. And then you have real. What the hell is real? The Meta team for Instagram did a great job coming up with a name for reels because it's like that really hits home. So where have I been? What have I been doing? I've been around. I've been about. I've been thinking about this girl I got a crush on, the one that you guys have heard me talk about from Venezuela. I just feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm excited to see her again. That's all. Can a guy not be excited to see somebody? Geez. All right. So what happened today? Well, a lot of things happened today. I had one of those days where I felt like it was sort of groundbreaking, and it was. So I woke up with just enough time to get to work. And today my boss told me that I was like this close to getting fired. And I was like, are you serious? Like, are you for real? Like, be so for real right now. Am I? I'm glad I can laugh about it. Because I was like, are you serious? Like, I looked at it, I was like, you have to be kidding. Like, what are you talking about? And she just kind of went off and she was like, you're not a team player. Like, you leave the front, do whatever you want to do, and you leave these people that are new up front and they can't handle it. You are always on your phone. I think that was the main 3. It's like, you don't care. And she told me that my coworkers have been telling her that they don't want to work with me. They don't want to be scheduled on my shifts. That one, I was like, are you serious? Like, are you serious? She said she was. And so I was like, I think what sparked the conversation was not, she didn't just come up with me and tell me that. I could not hold it in anymore. I was just looking at her face and I was like, dude, I have to, like, it's been 2 weeks since she told me, since she really got it. She got up in my face and she was like telling me that if she made one call to my dad, like about how like I'm a horrible worker and I never work, or like something like, and then she was like, you're going to come running back here when you drop your classes and you're going to ask me for more hours. And then she was like, she had this big grin on her face as she was watching me get more and more angry. And 2 weeks went by and I did not forget about that. So finally today I'm there in the morning and I see her, and I'd been there for like an hour or 2 by that point in time. And I was just like, you what you were telling me 2 weeks ago right here when you had a big grin on your face and I was so upset, I cannot get out of my head. I was really upset with you. And that's when she started to tell me all the things I told you she just told me. And then it was like, I wanted to say this to her too, because when I think about this and I talk about this over the past 2 weeks, I tell other people, I'm like, the thing about my boss is that I think she just thinks that everyone just hates her, and so she thinks everyone hates her. And so she just tries to like, or that's like underlying, she just thinks everyone hates her. So like, she almost like manifests it, like I feel like she's very experienced, 60 years old at a job like this with high employee turnover rate. I'm sure many, many, many people in my shoes who got the same sort of rage bait is the only way to put it. It was 100% rage bait. Like she was bringing out my anger word by word with ease. I mean, whether or not it was with ease or not is kind of besides the point. She was actively poking and prodding. And I feel that she probably half expected me to just quit on the spot. And yeah. And I honestly, I definitely would have quit on the spot if I hadn't already worked jobs and then not worked jobs and then looked back to when I was working the job and say, man, I really missed that job. So back to current timeline. So I try to tell her, I'm like, something, Christina, I just think that you think everyone hates you. And I don't care what you do. I'm never going to hate you. It doesn't matter. And it didn't land like here I am telling that to her face. And it didn't land the way that it seems to land when I tell other people that about her. It kind of just seemed like bounce right off of her. You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting. And then we started to, because then we're still face to face, right? And I expressed how I had expressed how I still thought about our conversation from 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to bring it back to light. And I was probably expressing a bit of anger in that moment too, to be honest with you. And she expressed probably anger with me also. And this I have a good relationship with my boss because we get angry at each other. I mean, it's not often that you have, I don't mean to sound like ridiculous when I say this, but it's not often that you have like the privilege to be angry with someone, like that's how you know that this person is a figure in your life when you are experiencing a wide spectrum of emotions in regards to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so then we start to sort of work towards the solution, right? I was like mid-task while I was talking to her, and this is kind of when I stopped my task and kind of turned my full body towards her. And I was like, I was just like, the words were very easy for me to say. I said, I never wanted it. I never asked you for a key. And then she said, that's my fault. And she apologized. And I was like, oh, in my head, I didn't say this. I was like, oh, I didn't mean, like, I don't think she's, I don't like, I would have liked, I was thinking about this after. I would have liked if she apologized for, this is so weird. This is like new territory for me. I'm serious. Like these interactions are so weird. Because it's like, I don't know. It's like breaking my, like, it's like my character. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is so different, but that's what happens when I feel like I've made a lot of changes. So it would make sense that my experiences start to feel different, and I'm just getting older. But if I'm honest, I had this thought afterwards around like 5 p.m. I was like, I wish that she would have apologized for, being such a dick to me 2 weeks ago. And poking my buttons like that. But I'm sure if I would have said that, I'm sure if I would have been like, Christina, I need you to apologize, I'm sure she actually would have. And when I felt what I felt in the moment when she decided to apologize for, handing me a key without asking me if I wanted that responsibility or not. Even though it was kind of like it wasn't, listen, I know a thing or two about apologies, and it wasn't like the best apology ever. It was definitely still an apology. You could tell she really didn't Well, no, you can't tell anything. What am I getting at here? What I'm getting at here is that we reached a resolution, and it was like, okay, I am going to be bumped down responsibility wise. Like, I'm no longer am I the person in charge, because it was all flowing out of me. I was like, I don't know how I got this key. I don't know why, these new guys that you're hiring are asking me if they can like go to the bathroom. Like, I don't know why, I don't know why, like, why do I feel like I am so much is expected of me? Like, I never ever asked for this. Like, I got a job here and I can now do the job. And like, I never wanted, I never wanted to be in charge of other people doing the job or even close to that. Want a couple of tasks to do and someone to tell me what to do occasionally when they need to. You know what I'm saying? That's all. And I don't want to, I don't, and I felt very secure in telling her all of this because I don't know. I feel like it was a gray area for a while because I had no plans of returning to school. But I'm really glad my mom pushed me to go back to school because now I'm starting to have this sense of like I'm pushing through. I had this very big hump where like I started to spiral. I missed a couple assignments, but now I'm like thinking in terms of weeks instead of days, which is huge. So now it's like Labor Day weekend's coming to an end, and I'm like it's time to push. Like still had some late assignments this week. That's okay, but I didn't have to request any extensions, and I am in this position where like I'm fired up for class. Like I don't know, I don't know how tomorrow's going to go or whatever, but I've got the day off. I should, by all means, there should be there's no way that I don't, finish everything and get to bed like with enough time to get a good 8 hours of sleep and get to class Tuesday morning ready to rock and roll. Class is time for lock in. You have to take notes like your life depends on it. So yeah, she said, yeah. So like tonight, we closed and it was miserable tonight. It was miserable. We only had two people, not because someone called out, because literally there's only two on schedule. And it was really hard for me because I had to do everything and it was extremely exhausting. And what else? Oh, but I felt really good about knowing that, the person in charge of me, my boss, is like now we came to a mutual understanding that I will no longer have these expectations on me moving forward, and that I will keep my key and I can lock the door and set the alarm code if I need to, but I will not be the only one that can lock the door and set the alarm. And not only that, but it seems like there's two people in particular that are maybe a little bit hungry for responsibility, or like, I don't know. It's a shitty shift. The closing shift, like no, customers don't come, no one wants to work it. It's just not very like, it's not very, I don't know. It's like work for the sake of work. And that's why I'm not quitting, because I want work for the sake of work. As much as this sucked, as much as my shift sucked today, let me tell you, I would have much more preferred to be there than be home. To be home, even though I have this podcast to do and all this stuff to do, I would still just waste the time away. That's what home does. It's a home base. When you're home, you got to spend at least like half your time just being home. So you got to make sure you're not home. So that's exciting. My coworkers are going to get the tap on the shoulder like, hey, it's time to rise up, take some responsibility. And that makes me wonder, like, did I ever push anybody out what was the atmosphere like when I initially got handed a key? I don't know. But I mean, it's now I'm thinking about it all, and it was like, I think I have like maybe more I need to say to her next time I see my boss, because I was really in a place where, I mean, I had no idea how important it was for me to, have a setting in my life where I felt like I was important. And my boss was telling me about how like people don't want to work with me and I'm like not a good team player. Maybe that's because like this importance feeling is like drifted into arrogance, and it's like, it's a mismatch because I'm no longer that important. My hours are less than part-time, yet I still come to work with like this air of like I know what I'm doing and like everyone else doesn't. Because dude, I mean, to be honest with you, I can complain for days, right? So many people don't do the job the way I would do it. I was going to say how they're supposed to, but the way I would do it. And I have a really hard time with that kind of stuff because I don't know why it is that I do, but I just think my way is like my way. And maybe it's like some sort of like coping thing, because if my way isn't the way, then then what is going on? Like I don't know. It's like my way is not invented, my way is like discovered. So it's like when other people seem to struggle to discover my same way, it's like it frustrates me, I guess. And yeah, I just it just felt like a really big turning point. I shot a text to my mom after that conversation because I felt like I could breathe. Like at the very least, I tried to get how I've been feeling these past 2 weeks off my chest to the person that I think it matters the most that I do so. Um, and that was the end of that. And yeah, I think that kind of continued into a couple good decisions, right? Like good sound decisions. I think the first thing that I did that I was like nice after that conversation, because that conversation was definitely a good decision. At least I think. I don't want to live in the past. I'm kind of living in the present. Interesting. But by being in the present, I'm thinking of the past. Comment down below how much past equals one present. That made no sense. Okay, so what I was saying was we sorry, I accidentally looked at the time. We've been going for 16 minutes. I should not have looked. We I have been relying on caffeine in heavy doses for the past like 3 days to I don't know if relying is the right word. I've been confiding in. And it's just like the sooner you put a stop to that sort of stuff, when you kind of get in those habits, those little mini habits where you're like, oh, I'll just try one coffee today, and the next day you're like, oh, I feel kind of tired. Maybe I should just drink another coffee. Yesterday was good. The sooner you can nip that in the bud and be like, yo, I survived without coffee. I don't know why I think I need it all of a sudden, but I don't. The better. And I did crack a Celsius today because on my 1 hour break, I opened my laptop to bust out as much school as I possibly could. And so I was like, I need that zone. I need that caffeine rush. That's, and you just get it's a whole process and experience, because just kind of admitting and allowing yourself to have the drink in the future mentally unlocks the flow of the happiness. And then you finally drink it, and then here comes the heightened alertness, and it's all that sort of deal. And I took one or two sips, and I reference a gentleman on Instagram called Real Playa Shit, I think is his name, Real Playa. He's just so cool. His stick is like he dresses up as a thug but gives really good sound advice for young men and women, but I don't know. It's he always starts his videos with Real Playa Shit, and then he launches into his advice. And I remember seeing one of his videos where he said, Real Playa Shit, if you have a sweet kind of drink, if you like soda, if you like milkshakes, then that's fine. You can drink them. But don't be scared to throw away 8/9 of your soda. If you take that first sip and you realize, hey, that's all I needed, then get rid of it. Don't let soda control you. You control it. Real Playa Shit. Something along those lines. And I read that and I was like, dude, he's so right. Like sometimes you just finish what you have just because you have it. And it's like that's never, I mean, I adopted that way of thinking when I was like smoking weed. I would often like give away weed, throw away weed, spend way too much money on weed so I wouldn't have money to spend. Like I would just try to do all these things to lessen the amount of weed that I smoked. And I knew that it was really bad when like I was like trying to save money and like make my weed last as long as possible. Like that's how you know that it's, you know what I'm saying? So I took 2 sips of that Celsius and I was like, dude, this ain't it. And I poured it out. And look at me. I'm right here. I survived. I literally lived. Who would have ever thought that I could have lived through that? It ain't over yet. I had a small, tiny little headache. I think it's gone. We'll see how my quality of sleep is. I may go into a coma tonight. Oh, I'm so excited. This episode's underway. I sat on the couch and just was on social media for so long before I finally got up and just ripped it. Okay, so there's that episode at work. Okay, following. And then near the end of my shift, was it? No, it was around lunchtime. I see on social media a very good friend of mine, actually the most viewed podcast episode of Keeping It Real, Zach Perry. He, to be completely honest with you, I have a hard time, no, I won't say that. Okay. He's a very genuine person. And we share a lot now that I do this. What we do is very, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. He's not like he has a podcast, and it's not like I do any of the, technical stuff he does video editing wise with color grading and stabilization and all that. I mean, he's in a totally different what's that word I'm thinking? A totally different, I just can't think of it, but you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, we both edit video. So that's a huge thing. At the end of the day, we both work cameras. And he was, I reached out to him when I started this because I've always known him to do that, and he's been doing it for years and years and years now. And he really welcomed me with open arms, and it was like those two things: the fact that like he was someone that I wanted to pick his brain because he does what I'm trying to do, and then also he allowed that to happen with a smile on his face. So it's like for those two reasons, when I saw on social media that he was spontaneously driving, did he drive all the way here? Couldn't have. There's just no way. But I remember seeing he was traveling to Raleigh. He lives out in Los Angeles as of recently, and we were trying to get together to do another episode of the show before he moved out there, because who knows, how many more times we're going to be in the same place. I mean, that guy has a packed schedule. I think in the industry he's in, there's even a slang word. There's like lingo for the type of videographer he is. Like he's honestly, he's always on tour, and it's not like he's like following Post Malone around or someone, but like he showed up tonight at a club downtown in Raleigh, all the way from Los Angeles, and like the next day they're going somewhere else. And he has a team, a manager, him, two DJs, and one more, maybe one or two more people. And it's like they really they share, and it seems, I guess the way that I might put it, because I don't, I just met them, a couple of them. I don't know how much. I met the two DJs that played, so he said two DJs. I don't. The specifics aren't necessarily important. Let's tell the story. So back to the story. Hopefully, also, I really hope that I sound good. I should sound okay. I'm trying to make my voice silky smooth. I am using this filter. I'm not sure how I feel about it. You'll be able to. I mean, you can tell based on the way that there's dead silence almost when I'm not speaking. I'm not sure how I feel about it because it can manipulate my voice into a little bit of an unnatural kind of way, but I'm not sure how tuned into that you are, because I'm a little bit hyper-focused on it. If you, what are your first thoughts? You hear my voice and you hear the audio, think technically, just drop a comment immediately. First couple thoughts, bang, comment. Because I would love some feedback from some people that are actually, that just watch the show. I know a lot of you had this on in the background, and that's, let me know how my voice sounds for your background. Because it should sound very silky and smooth, and like it's kind of like I'm standing 6 inches from your ear. Okay, so I utilized social media, and I said, dude, there's no way you're coming to Raleigh. Like I just like the first thought, bang, I have to see this guy's face. I have to do what I got to do to see this guy's face. And second thought, bang, I got to bring him a cookie from Jersey Mike's because he used to work there. And yeah, that's just a nice thing for me to do. So I learned that he will be coming to play at this one club called Alchemy on Glenwood Avenue. And I go, bang, I'm getting home from work, finishing up one more quiz that I'm turning in late for world history, and then putting on nice clothes and going downtown. And I'm just going to see him come back to the podcast. Let me tell you, that did not happen the way I just described it. I got downtown. My roommate came with me, by the way, which was very impromptu and very fun. I feel like, honestly, I had a very, I don't know if it's late, but I feel like I had a very, like, I just had an experience, which I'm about to tell you about. So let me lean back in my, let me get kind of comfy. Also, it's like, we got so much work to do because it's like this filter's on and I'm supposed to sound really good, but then I move my chair and adjust the table and everything, and it's like you can definitely hear all of this. Like the furniture I'm using should not be so loud. Like it shouldn't be. So what happened? Well, we got there, and this is my friend, my roommate's first time seeing Glenwood Avenue. I don't feel guilty for yawning. I know my mom's going to be like, "Oh, you're so tired," but I am tired. Just know that I had nothing to do tomorrow, and I'm asleep. Mom. So I'm like telling him all this stuff about Glenwood. Like, this is what I do. We're going to do all this. And then we get there and it is just totally not that packed. I thought that maybe because tomorrow's Labor Day, it would be slammed like any other weekend, but it was more like, hey, listen, it's Sunday night. But it was just like a little of activity. That's cool. I just want to see Zach and go back home. We get there. I learned that we're 45 minutes early because that's finally when I decided to text him. And I'm like, shit. Well, I'm going home. So I leave my cookie with the bouncer and say, hey, this is going to go to this guy that's part of the DJ set that's coming in 45 minutes. I told him to look for you. This guy's very nice. His name was Justin. I very much appreciate. But we couldn't even go in the venue because it was ticket only. And hold your breath here. Hold your breath. Because after that whole thing happened, we were going to go home, but I'm with my roommate, and I very much like, who knows when he's going to go back to Glenwood? Who knows? First impressions mean a lot. And I feel like if someone was showing me around a bar scene in a city I've never been to, I would want them to do exactly what I did. And what I did was we just kind of went on my route, on my tour. We just started walking and we would just go in bars, experience what there was to experience, and then go to the next bar or club. We started with Tin Roof, which is like the second most southern bar / club worth mentioning on Glenwood Avenue in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina, which is on the eastern coast of the United States in between New York City and Florida. And there was a live band playing, and that was totally awesome. So we stopped and watched the band. There was 3 guitarists, 1 drummer, and they were really, really good. And it was just totally awesome. I learned that the top of Tin Roof was closed. They were operating at like half capacity. And that kind of lit the fire where I was like, okay, because I didn't think we were actually going to even go in and do the tour, but then it kind of like one thing led to another. Like the energy downtown is palpable. Like it is thick and dense. Like it really does. Like it makes you want to just, I don't know if be there is the right word, but it definitely is going to change your mental state. Don't think you can go from whatever you do normally to going downtown for the first time in a while and just kind of have the same like emotions or feelings. Like it's going to kind of rattle you. And for me, I guess it rattled me into like the into thinking like, come on, like, it's your roommate's never been here, like you always like to think of yourself as someone that would give a great tour of downtown, and you've literally never like ever even had the chance. Like it's time to just show them all the places. So I did. We started at Tin Roof, went to this other place with like super techno music, and like it kind of felt like everybody was on PCP. Like it was like jarring almost, but it was like also like a vibe. Like it felt like people had really wide eyes and like clenched teeth, but it also felt like they were really cool. Like I don't know, it didn't last too long there. Couldn't get the bartender's attention for a water. It was also just like one small room. So then we went back across the street to the next door bar to Tin Roof, which is called Devolve. I think it's Devolve, not Evolve. Devolve, and we walked into Devolve, and that place is rocking. We made our way through the inside, wrapped around the outside, and then I said, okay, let's sit down here for a little bit. So we sat down at this table, and as is very common in for a Glenwood interaction, especially on like a Sunday night, I just kind of exchanged a couple words with this gentleman that is just so deeply drunk. Alcohol is really alcohol really. Yeah, that was. Let's just say this is not the first drunk person that I ran into tonight. But what would I expect? What would I expect? Maybe after we recount all the drunk people, I can get my take on drinking. So moving forward, we get up from our seats, go to the next bar. The next bar is karaoke. This was a moment where I felt touched. This bar has like an upstairs and a downstairs, and we walked to the upstairs because the downstairs is tiny, and the upstairs is tiny too. But there's this little separate room where they have karaoke tonight, and we stumble in on a couple. A man, big biceps, looks like he's in the army. The kind of guy that looks like he gets up really early every day and was raised on a farm. Kind of like, the kind of guy that makes me feel like, damn, I'm not that attractive of a dude. Like just like a really like a guy that looks like he has like iron discipline kind of thing. And like his beautiful girlfriend next to him, who is just so pretty with this like beautiful bag, and like I don't know who convinced who to do karaoke. I don't think it was the guy's idea. I don't know what it was, but they both looked like, I don't know. They had clearly both been drinking, as you do when you go out. But I want to say it was his choice. They had chosen All of Me by John Legend, and that really brought the room together. It was a good amount of people in that room upstairs, and when the lyrics started and the people started to sing, everyone started to sing. And I love All of Me. I was screaming my heart out. But, in between my yellings and in between lyrics and all, I just couldn't get my eyes off of this guy because he, looked this way, like really tough and all. But like, the way that he was like gripping the mic and singing the lyrics, I felt like maybe this song meant a lot to him. And, that song means a lot to me too. That was my first, when you're younger, you date a girl. I'm talking really young, like elementary school. And like you have a girlfriend. It's like elementary school, middle school, high school. Even now, I feel like I'm still like a lot of what I do is still based heavily on replication or replicating. Replication, is that a replication? Like you imitate what you see. And so like I remember being, it's so funny because I remember I had this girlfriend, and it's like we barely even spent any time in person with each other. I would see her at recess occasionally, and yet we had a song, and it was All of Me by John Legend because it was one of her favorite songs, I think. And I don't, I guess I just said we had a song. Who knows how she remembers this? I mean, I'd be pretty interested to find out, but what's the point here? I've just never forgotten that song because of her. Oh, but briefly before I move on, because I feel like when a couple has a song, it's because like it was playing when they met, or like they both expressed mutual interest in it when it played on here, or like they, this. But like, it's funny how it's like generation by generation we play this game of telephone. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Because then you'll have like young new couples like picking out what's our song, but that's not necessarily how it used to. Like, that's not how like a song between a couple, like this is, Sam and Ella's song. That's not necessarily how that social, is that a social concept, or is it more of just like a objective thing? I don't know. Point being, All of Me means a lot to me too, and I always get goosebumps whenever I hear it. And I think even if it weren't for this girlfriend, I think I would still be drawn towards it, because it is, good Lord, John Legend is, I mean, listen to the lyrics. All of me loves all of you, all your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I give my all to you. You are my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning. Because I give you all of me, you give me all of you. Give me all of you. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. Come on, Jack, do it justice. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind. 'Cause all of me loves all of you. And I was like, nice. Like, it's kind of like Downtown, like it really put, like, you get this burst of like craziness, and like you keep wanting to one up that, and like you want every bar you go into, there's gotta be a new exciting thing. So go figure, after the live music and after the karaoke, we get out on the street and it's like, I don't want to go home. Wait a minute. It's been 45 minutes. Now Zach is showing up to the place that they're DJing at, and he's filming them DJ. And I'm texting Zach and he's like, yeah. And we go, and I'm just like, okay. And you're going to notice a theme here. The theme is basically like, okay, I'm going to do this, but then I end up doing that. Like I say, I'm going to do this and I end up doing that. So I say to myself and to my roommate, okay, we're just going to sit here. And when he gets here, he said he'd come out to the front and say, hey, because it's still a ticketed event and I'm not going to buy a $25 ticket. And I just wanted to say hey to him, maybe give him this cookie in person, and then we'll leave. Well, it takes him, he never comes out, because within 5 minutes, my roommate noticed that they are no longer checking tickets at the front door. So, which is pretty funny. So, I show up, get my cookie back from the bouncer, Justin, who was holding it from me. And, which he was awesome to let me bring that cookie in. They're probably not supposed to let you bring any food into that kind of thing, but whatever. No ticket, got in. It's packed. It's packed. There's this really pretty girl, whomst Zach actually told me over text there's like a friend of theirs. I guess, it's like an industry they work in. It's very exciting. And like, this is like, I'm starting to get pulled into the, cause I'm waiting so long for Zach and his crew to come out on the stage. And it's like, I like this, if I'm there, I'm going to enjoy it. And it's house music. I love house music. So I've got my hands up in the air, and I'm noticing how it kind of feels a little awkward to jump up and down and dance. And I just kind of know, like, I've bbeen here before. I know if you just keep dancing and you just keep on feeling the music and keep on like letting the bass run through the ground of your feet and go up your shins and your thighs and come straight to your chest, then you will turn into that guy where it's like, damn, this guy is so confident, or like, it's so funny because I feel like everyone's kind of going through that simultaneously on the dance floor. Everyone's like, oh my God, I'm in this club where everyone's jumping up and down and dancing. And like, I'm like the main character, like that's kind of like the happenings of like an environment like that. That's why I think what DJs do are so amazing, because they bring that opportunity. They manufacture that setting where someone can feel special. That's what I try to do with this podcast. But with DJs, they do it with these, crowds are something that want to break into. I think I'm going to do stand-up comedy pretty soon with my friend Harris. If not solo, at comedy club in Raleigh called Comedy Works. I believe they have open mics, and I would like to start attending those because if there's one thing I've learned, nothing should ever be off the table. Like live streaming. I like to do a live stream sometime soon. Okay, so moving forward, moving forward in the story, I'm vibing out to this girl's music, and I'm like, I wonder when they're gonna come on. I wonder when they're gonna come on, and um, okay, and here's a bit of a weird part that I'm gonna say. Uh, people are all tightly packed, and I'd be lying if I said, when I knew that I was gonna go downtown to see Zach, I kind of let myself get excited about it, and I was like, I want to get, whenever I go downtown, I always hope that like I'm gonna meet somebody, even though I know that it's never gonna happen and that never happens. I still get so excited and like I shower and I shave and I'm like, I'm just gonna be myself. And like, what if I just meet somebody, and like we, that, but part of that drive, that excitement is probably credible to lust, and like I really like to have sex with somebody. I feel like it's weird when I say have sex with somebody. I feel like it's less weird if I say like I really want to fuck somebody, because I feel like sex is like closer to like make love, and fuck is closer to like have a transaction. And okay, I don't know where I'm going with this. My point is, I don't know what my point is. My point is I was on this dance floor and I'm starting to feel the beat in my feet, and like I'm starting to like I got a big smile on my face. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm new to the dance floor. I haven't been there for 3 hours, so I'm not drenched in sweat. Although foreshadowing, I did smell bad. And um, I, occasionally, like, I don't know how to explain this, but like, somebody will press their body up against yours, and you never know if it's like because someone's pushing past them and like they have no other way to go, or if they're just really drunk and they don't even realize they're touching you, or if, and you know, I say this with, I don't know what I say this with, but I think that like as me, I have a very big weight on like, like I sometimes find the curves of a woman extra curvy, if you follow what I'm saying. Sometimes the curves seem to be curving more than usual, but it's like you never ever, like, that is something that you just let sit and you can notice it, but you understand that it will pass, and you do not act. I never act on this, ever. I honestly, I never have, and I don't, and I never will, because it's not, that's not really what, I don't know. It's just sort of like it's just kind of the way I am, and I can act on it, but it's like I'm talking about like with a stranger, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I'm capable of like, listening to my body, but like I don't know. I can still listen to it and reject it. It's kind of like, I don't know if you're. I don't know how to explain it. But my point is, I feel like women get that same feeling, right? Where maybe like the manliness of a man seems to be extra manly on a certain night. I know that this is, this goes both ways. It's a different experience, sure, but it's like we are a weird mix of human and honestly computer at this point. I don't even know. I swear to God, I swear I'm just like a part of a computer. I don't even understand. So sometimes, I get the impression that like someone is like purposely trying to touch me, whether it be a girl or there was a guy in the middle that, if I were to stereotype him, he looked very gay, and he was just would not stop touching me. And this actually, I don't know why. I've always looked at people, you'll brush by someone at a club and maybe they give you a stank face and like, or say like, excuse you or something. And when that happens, it's like, what? Like, are you serious? Like you're here in the middle of the dance floor and you're going to act like I'm in the wrong for trying to be where you are in the dance floor. Like, this is the nature. But that was me. This guy would not stop rubbing up on me. And it was like, dude, I turned to him and I said, can you please like give me space? Give me space. And I'm yelling because there's loud music. And then I said, thank you, and turned back. And then a minute passed and I turned to him and I was like, that's my friend up on stage, just to make sure, like, I don't know, to try and throw a little bit of like we're friends, but just don't fucking touch me. Like, don't touch me. Now, now when there's girls that I'm not sure, like, is this girl like intentionally like pressing her whole side profile and like into my back, or, I don't ask her for space, but like, yeah, that's just, I wanted to tell the story because like that would like, and I'm gonna sound like such a dweeb. I was thinking about this. I'm gonna sound like such a dweeb, like a dweeb when I say this. But I feel like a dweeb is kind of like an outdated thing necessarily. Like, I think I'm gonna sound hella disciplined and not desensitized when I say this, because I think a lot of guys love to, this has been a theme lately too. I've been noticing in men that I know personally, they love to act like their ability to be physically involved with a woman is like some sort of thing to show off. And I hate to say it, because I'm still trying to figure out if this is. I think that's disgusting. I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting. Do I think sex is a great thing? Yes. If I could have sex every day, I would. But if I could have sex is an interesting statement, because, because I don't, I don't, I just can't do what these guys do. I've never been able to be at a club like that, or like at a party and just like, put my arm around a girl and pull her close to me. You know what I'm saying? Or like, at these kinds of clubs and stuff, people will like grind up on each other. Like, what's the word that means like two people doing something at the same time? Like, I don't know, like they're both doing it. Like they're in sync or something. That's not right. That's not right. But I just can't do that. I just can't do that. I mean, I have a hard time. Like sometimes I'll look, like sometimes, when I'm dancing around to the music, I'm always just staring at the ceiling, or the DJs maybe, like, because I have such a hard time, if I'm looking around at eye level to just catch these people's eyes, I have a really hard time doing that. Because I think in the world that I live in, I saw this thing the other day, this guy was like, nothing's casual. And I swear, bro, I kind of like, because I am on this, like, dude, I swear, like in the world that I'm in, nothing is casual. Everything feels so like intense that when I'm catching these people's eyes, I'm like, no, I don't want to look at you. Like I like, like I don't like, I don't know. I was there to see my friend Zach, but like I said, like I went downtown thinking like, oh yeah, like, tonight could be the night. Like, I would love to meet somebody. Not surprised it didn't happen. It's just not my scene personally. I think a lot of people are great at that stuff, and they have great social circles and people that they know and they see, and they honestly, like, that place is like a really important place for them. It's somewhere I just like to find myself very occasionally. So yeah, that was exciting. But the dweeb thing, if I must tell you, and I don't must tell you, but I'm really reaching to find like what is this show, and I think what I'm about to tell you, like, it's part of this show. Like I don't like, this is something that I don't, find um, too hard to share. And I feel like a lot of people would, guard this with their life. And it's like, I try not to really guard too much with my life. I just, um, so this is, you feel someone's like pressed up into your back and it's like, when's the last time, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you're on Instagram and you just see like a video that's like almost porn all of a sudden. And it's like, I don't watch porn anymore. So it's like when it's shoved in my face without me asking for it, I get caught off guard and it's like, I'm gonna end this there. But that was to just give you a word that you should be able to understand kind of what I'm saying. It was just very exciting when this happened. So this is like 20, 30 minutes. And then I see my friend Zach's on stage. He came out on stage. The new DJs are there. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. I was a big fan of the way they started their show. The way that they started their show, I really liked because I saw in it the way that I start my podcast. You could tell that like those first couple beats where all the TV screens in the club changed to their logo and the lights kind of went to do their thing and it was like, okay, everyone, this is a new DJ. Like the DJs changed out. These guys had like a fat smile on their face. And it really reminded of me when I start keeping it real. It's like, okay, like the possibilities are endless. Like this is what I do this for. Like welcome to episode 246. Those guys, one of them grabbed the mic and it was like, what's up, Raleigh? We're here. What's going on? And I was so hyped, bro. I was so hyped. I was like, yeah. And I'm trying to get Zach's attention. I send him because the crowd's not that big, but I just wanted to I was so excited. I wanted to make damn sure there was no way there was no way that he wouldn't know that I saw him and that I needed him to see me in that crowd. So I sent him a text like, my flashlight's on, look for me. But I ended up catching his eye. And then Zach, he is such a kind soul. He made sure that I got to go backstage. He said, bro, head to the back. I'm going to come grab you. And I did, and he did. And I was really nervous to go back there because in the middle of the party, I caught this whiff of like sweat and disgusting smelling, and I was like, damn, I hope that's not like, I hope I don't have anything to do with that. This shirt is not clean. I think I've worn it like 3 times. And I sweated like lightly in it, like the second time I think or something like that. And I just threw it on because I don't have any other clean laundry and it's a shirt with a collar and I like this. Actually, this is like one of my favorite shirts. You can probably tell. And I went to the bathroom to go pee before I got sent backstage because there's no bathroom back there. And I asked this dude to smell me like, yo, do I smell bad? And bro didn't even get close. Bro didn't even like lean in or anything. He just looked at me and he was like, yeah, bro, you smell bad. And I was like, fuck. Honestly, that made me rethink everything because like, bro, how did I even get here? Like, how did I even get in this bathroom worried about how I smell? I should be doing my podcast right now and showering and going to bed. Like, how did I even get here? So then I'm waiting for like Zach to come tell the big scary bouncer dudes to let me get behind the bar so I can walk all the way behind the bar to get to the stairs to go back behind the big DJ set thing. And I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, I don't even want to like, so this is what I say. I say, okay, I'm going to get back there. I'm just going to say hello to Zach and then I'm going to leave. And my time comes. I walk up to them. He told me to tell them that I'm with the camera guy. They let me back. And there was like 3 stages. It was so crazy. Cause like the first guy opened the rope for me. I walked behind all these girls. They have these girls that are wearing like workout clothes behind the bar. And they're just, beautiful. And like, I was behind them, walking in between them and all the liquor bottles. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing back here? Like, this is like weird. Like I've been to this place before, but never have I been like, this is such a weird perspective. And I walk all the way up this, like I get stopped and the dude's like, yo, who you with? And I'm like, I just told these guys, like the camera guy. And he lets me pass. And then another guy's like, yo, who's he with? We're just letting anybody back here. And I was like, bro, I don't know. I think I handled it pretty well because I was kind of just like, are you guys gonna let me in or not? Like, I don't know. And they did. And I got up there and I went right up the stairs, right past all these people that are up behind the stage. I just pushed past all of them. And then I tried to go directly out behind the DJs. And then I got like a hand in front of me. And this dude who, I don't mean to, like, can I say that he gave me bad vibes? No, he didn't give me bad vibes. I think he was working the venue. He was like, no. Or he looked at me like, what are you doing? Are you stupid? Or something and I felt very bad, right? Because I don't know. I mean, as you can tell, this is starting to turn into like me becoming like submitting to Zach's world. Like this is such a crazy world where they travel all over the country and play these venues, you know, night after night after night, and they film it and they post it and they film it and they post it, and it's a crazy thing. And so I sat my ass down. I said, sorry, Zach. Zach saw me get stopped. So then he came and we finally got to exchange our first words and who knows how long. And I just said, I'm sorry. And he like wanted to make sure I didn't worry about it. He was like, not a problem. He said, I know you're new to this kind of scene. Like it is not a big deal at all. And that was like the perfect thing for him to say. So I just sat there. I met the guy sitting next to me and I'm behind the bar, right? And I noticed this is when I was really catching. Like there was this one girl and like, dude, these girls are so pretty. Like they're all of them are beautiful. All of them are beautiful. But the way that the way that you can feel them staring at you, and if you ever even look, because it's like how do I put this? It's like human nature. Like you can feel people looking at you. Like your eyes just dart and meet other people's eyes. Because usual day-to-day life, you are not at a club at 1 a.m., right? So when someone's looking at you and needs to get your attention, it's probably because like you have toilet paper stuck to your shoe, or they want to ask you what your name is, or you know, it's like a teacher calling on you, or like you get what I'm saying, someone trying to give you your order at Jersey Mike's, like it's all things that make sense to me. But I'm in this club scenario, and it's like we're all here to have a good time, everyone's dressed nice, we're all drinking, and everyone's staying up late, and it's like all these things, and like I just feel these eyeballs on me. And whenever I look at this direction, like we just lock eyes. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And why, you know, like was she hoping that I would like try to get her backstage? Was she like, I don't know. I don't know. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I felt like, I don't know. I felt like there was nothing, there's like, I didn't know, like, you know, in like regular day-to-day life for me, it's like I'm able to just sort of like, I know how to deal with, like, it's the person that comes in, looks at you like this, they're picking up for DoorDash. Or maybe it's like the person that you see on the sidewalk looks at you like that, like that's a long time friend you haven't seen in a while. Or maybe it's the person at the bus stop who looks at you like this, they want to ask you if you have any loose change. Like it's like things that you are familiar with and you have made responses to plenty of times in the past. So at, you know, bare minimum, you can just rely on your muscle memory. But it's like, why is this chick like, why is it the third time now that I've looked down and we've just locked eyes? And it's like I'm up on this stage and she's down there in this crowd where I used to be. Like I think she was in the spot where I used to be. Like that could have been the girl that was like pressing up in my back. I don't know. Like I'm not gonna, that's the thing when that sort of thing's happening, and I can, you know, you can tell it's like some girl and like she keeps brushing up against you. I didn't even turn to look. Like I don't even like, I don't know. I try to get myself not to like, I intentionally tried to like not step like out of the way of the touch because it's so packed. Like if I move forward, I'm just going to touch the person in front of me. Like I'm just going to maintain my space. Like if this girl, you know, must push up against me like this, then, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna stop. But that's not funny. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. I you know, maybe I should have done more to make sure no one was touching me. Do I sound crazy right now? I may very well sound crazy. But the third time I look down there, she's staring at me, and we're staring at each other. I don't mean to make this girl sound like she's got a staring problem. Like, we kept meeting each other's eyes. And the third time I made this face, I was like, I winced completely. Like, I had just been like told something, like eating something super sour like this. I was like, oh God. And then like I put my hands to my face and I turn my whole body around. I was like, I cannot meet this girl's eyes again. I cannot do it. So yeah, basically I was there for 2 hours. Whole time my friend Zach's working, I'm watching him work. We exchange the occasional words as we're passing each other by maybe. And what was this turned into this, turned into this, turned into this, turned into me saying, okay, I'll just wait till they turn the lights on in this bitch, and I'll formally ask Zach if he wants to come on my podcast tonight before he goes back to Los Angeles. I'm like almost 100% sure he's going to say no, because like, he just finished his work for the night. And I don't know, he's kind of like big dog. like he's kind of like a big dog to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just kind of like, there's so many things that he does, like there's so many things that I do. And like, as much as he's like very much inclusive and like showed me that experience, he is, I just kind of we figured he would say no to tonight's episode. But I told him, I was like, as we were walking out, I was like, I know, but I have to ask. Yeah, said goodbye to him. And now I'm here. Shit. Now I'm out of things to talk about. Oh my God. It's been an hour. Okay. I think this is one of the better solo episodes, just because I think I held a constant pace of chatter for the whole time. I received some feedback. I think that these episodes should start with a good clip of like something juicy that I'm saying. So it makes you want to watch the whole thing. And then roll the intro music. So that's probably what happened. Right now, of course, my voice is drowned out by the outro music. This has been episode 246 of Keeping It Real. I've been your host. Thanks so much. Peace.